In 480 BC, the world witnessed the rise of the largest army ever assembled. Its mission? To destroy a single, powerful idea, the idea of freedom. At the head of this unstoppable force was the Persian ruler who called himself a god king, Xerxes. His empire, stretched across 3 continents, sent hundreds of thousands of soldiers to crush the small but stubborn city-states of Greece. Victory seemed certain. Yet, in their path stood a narrow pass barely wide enough for 2 carts side by side, a place known as the Hot Gates, or Thermopylae. And there, a Spartan king and his 300 bodyguards made a stand so legendary that would echo through all of history. This isn't only the story of a battle. It's the story of a choice. A few warriors who chose to die standing tall rather than kneel before a tyrant. And in doing so, they changed the fate of the Western world. This war was born out of revenge. 10 years earlier, the Persians had been humiliated at the Battle of Marathon by Athens. Now Xerxes, the son of King Darius, swore he would not repeat his father's mistake. He raised an army of staggering size. The historian Herodotus claimed it was more than 2 million men. Modern scholars place the number lower, but still between 100,000 and 300,000 soldiers, an enormous, multi-ethnic army drawn from every corner of the Persian Empire. To move this force from Asia into Europe, Xerxes ordered an engineering wonder, a bridge of boats across the Hellespont Strait, a mile-wide channel of violent waters. When storms destroyed the first bridge, Xerxes, furious, ordered to see itself whipped into submission. Nothing, not even nature, would stop him as his army swept south. Panic spread through Greece. Many city-states surrendered, giving the symbolic earth and water to Xerxes. But a handful, led by Athens and Sparta, chose to resist. They formed a fragile alliance. The question was, where could they make their stand? The answer was Thermopylae, meaning hot gates, named after nearby sulfur springs. It was a brilliant choice. At the time, the pass was so narrow that the towering mountains pressed against the sea, leaving only a single road south. Here, the Persian advantage in numbers would be useless. 1 million soldiers were no stronger than a few thousand. If only a handful could fight at once. It was the perfect choke point. Leading the defense was King Leonidas of Sparta. Because of a religious festival called the Carnea, Sparta could not send its entire army. So Leonidas marched north with just his 300 royal bodyguards, hand-picked veterans, each with a son to carry on his name. On the way, they were joined by about 7,000 other Greeks, but everyone understood that the backbone of the defense was the Spartans. For 4 days, Xerxes waited, certain the Greeks would flee at the sight of his vast army. But they did not. Enraged, he ordered the attack. The Persians charged, lightly armored, carrying wicker shields and short spears. The Spartans and their allies locked themselves into a phalanx formation, their bronze shields overlapping, their long spears thrusting forward. Wave after wave of Persians were cut down, their bodies piling into ramps for their comrades to climb. Still, they broke against the wall of bronze. On the second day, Xerxes sent in his elite 10,000 soldiers, the Immortals, but even they were crushed. The Spartans fought with brutal skill, even pretending to retreat to lure Persians into chaos before turning back to slaughter them. From his throne, Xerxes reportedly leapt up in fury 3 times, watching his unstoppable army humiliated by just a few thousand men. But no wall holds forever. The weakness came not from force, but from betrayal. A local Greek named Ephialtes, tempted by Persian reward, revealed a hidden shepherd's trail, the Anapaea path, that led behind the Greek lines. That night, Xerxes sent his immortals with Ephialtes as their guide. The path was guarded by 1,000 Phocians, but they were caught off guard and fled. By dawn, Leonidas learned the terrible truth. His army was surrounded. Retreat was no longer possible. Leonidas knew what had to be done. To save Greece, most of the army must escape. He dismissed a majority. But he and his 300 Spartans, along with 700 Thespians who volunteered to stay, and 400 Thebans held as hostages, remained. They no longer fought for victory. They fought for time and for legacy. Their spears shattered. They fought with swords. When swords broke, they fought with hands and teeth. Leonidas himself fell, and a bloody struggle raged over his body. At last, pushed back to a small hill, the last defenders stood surrounded. Xerxes ordered his archers forward. A storm of arrows darkened the sky, until none were left standing. The Battle of Thermopylae was a tactical defeat, but a strategic triumph. The sacrifice of Leonidas and his men gave Greece precious time. Their courage proved that Xerxes was not invincible. That time allowed Athens to prepare for the Battle of Salamis, where the Persian navy would be destroyed, turning the tide of the war. Thermopylae became an eternal symbol of courage against overwhelming odds, of sacrifice for freedom. On the site, a monument was later built with the words, "Go tell the Spartans, stranger passing by, that here, obedient to their laws, we lie." The stand of the 300 Spartans was not just a battle. It was a message that even the greatest empire could be resisted, that freedom was worth dying for. Their sacrifice kept alive the spark of democracy, an idea that would later shape the entire modern world. If you found this story as inspiring as we did, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments. What do you think makes the Battle of Thermopylae so unforgettable? Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more epic tales from history.